Alright, let's look at it. We did pretty good tonight. We're like seeing deeper into BJCC, which is awesome, so good job. So yeah, I'm just gonna do a quick review. We're gonna look at some attempts on limit cut and BJCC and see what we're like having issues with. I can see, and maybe give you guys some tips and stuff. I'm pretty consistent with limit cut at this point because you pretty much gotta be 100% on it if you're gonna prog later into the fight and clear. It is one of the rougher mechanics in this fight for consistency. Because there's 8 different variations and all of them have something different, or like a different way to approach it. Alright, so let's just go ahead and start looking at it. I'll keep on looking at a whole bunch of our limit cut stuff and see like what people are struggling on. And I'll doodle on the screen like I usually do and fix stuff. Alright, so first off, as usual, but everybody seems to already know this, jump. Jump while you're all stacked together. 4. Alright, so let's slow it down. I'm not going to be able to see what goes wrong if it's on the other side of the arena, but there are some things that went wrong in my side of the arena tonight too that we can look at. So I got 4. I'm going down. 7, 8. Right. So yeah, this one you wait for the 4 and then you stop where the 4th one would have been, which it comes out to like right here. As always, use this line right here to just like tell yourself like as far as you can go for the slice without running into the next explosion. So 3 should be like right up against it back here, and then 4 like half a pizza slice away back here. Don't ever try and be like up under it. Like there's no reason for you to be up under CC because that's when usually ankles start getting weird and people start getting cleaved and things like that. So don't be up under it. Try and follow behind like I'm doing here. I'll show you again. Yeah, there's 3. So like I lock onto 3 as I see him going out. Like once you've seen enough of the explosion, like seeing this mechanic a couple times, the explosions aren't that bad. So like I don't even really think about it at this point because it's just a rhythm. So like 1, 2. I'm not even thinking about it. I'm looking at 3 and seeing where they're going at this point. 3. 4. Go stand into the 4th one. Yep, so and then cast. Alright, so I'm a little bit in here, but I do think I shimmy over. The proper way is underneath him is like right here. So should be pointing him this way. If you start pointing it this way, you run the risk of hitting the other group. It's kind of scuffed a little bit, so don't point it too far inward. Like right around here is usually the sweet spot. Don't ever be up under him. Don't try and be like, I saw a couple people like right here. His hitbox is like, it's weird. The center of it's like right back here. So if you're like straight up under where you see his model, he's gonna go forward. I saw that happen a couple times a night, and there's no reason for you to be that close to him. If the person in front of you puts CC down right at the edge of this, like you can stand back here and you'll be super safe from this explosion falling back, and you'll have more than enough time to take your cleave as soon as you know the snapshot is locked in and start walking into the next set of explosions. I adjust myself a little bit. It's locked in. I start walking. Easy. Like you don't need to be super close, like trying to game the system or whatever some of you guys seem to be doing tonight. So just follow half a pizza slice behind the person in front of you. And then this is what I'm talking about for, this is 7 and 8 right here. So, at this point, everything out here is all done. This is the last explosion for this entire mechanic, so once the snapshot is locked down for that, you can go in here, which you should be because JK hurts a lot and the healers need time to get you up. I'll show what I'm doing for 8 later, but you can, as 7 and 8, 7... You just have to like walk forward and drop it where it makes sense. 8, you get the option of pointing it this way, or you can do like I've been doing, like point it at the wall, so it's just like if anybody's back here, they're not gonna get hit. Like it's minimizing, but you don't have to do it. It's not required. It's just something that I like to do, and I've seen some other people do. Yeah, that's CC locks into where your character is facing whenever he pops down. So if you're facing like even the slightest bit in like that. See if I can see what happens. Yeah, he's like, you can kind of see where he's facing in whenever CC spawns. And so CC spawns looking this way. Instead, he should be spawning looking out that way. Could never be like looking in like this, because then you run the risk of hitting the other group like happens here. So anytime you're on this ring, like, you gotta point it to where it's facing out that way. Kinda, I'm not sure what the mathematical term for this is. Circle, you should always be like kind of parallel to this outer edge of the circle that's close to you. I know that you can't really be parallel to the circle, but like as much as you can facing it out that way, because then the cleave comes out here. But if you're facing like even the slightest bit in, like you're facing this way, CC's looking that way, then all of a sudden the cleave is like here-ish. Exaggeration, but you'll see when he cleaves the other group. Yeah, so if CC's pointing even the slightest bit in, that happens. Probably doesn't look very nice. Yeah, we could better BJCC pulls to look at and analyze. Let's keep on covering some limit cut for a little bit because we're still struggling on it. Know how I'm dying on this one. I need to figure out how I'm dying on that Protean wave. I'm standing where I usually do, so it's kind of strange. And I come back and I instantly die to splash, right? Yeah. This is not a good one to look at because I'm dead. Not really see anything because he's gonna target somebody else. Somebody's dead going into it. It randomly assigns the 8 to one of the people that are out there. Even if you res that person, it's over. Somebody's gonna get a random 8. It's probably gonna kill a lot of people. It is 100% a body check. Everybody needs to be alive going into it. That's good. Right. Let's look at another LC. I'm gonna cut this one. 5. So looking at the priority, I'm up here with 1, 2, and 6. 3 is also up here for some reason. Let's see. So 1, you have the toughest job in this entire mechanic, and let's look at it here. I think I also get 1 at some, like twice a night, so you can see me do it. Go ahead and just slow this down. I'm not really in the mood for Shin Megami Tensei. There we go. Zona. Right, so 1, as soon as you see your assign 1, you should like already be immediately mashing your sprint button. Like you don't have anything else to do here because there's no boss targetable, so just mash your sprint button. That's like the most important. Like you 100% should be sprinting if you're 1. And then you gotta walk along this line because the next explosion is gonna come up like right here. So you gotta come right here and then immediately cut in. This is explosion 2. Explosion 3 is gonna be right here. 1 should always be standing in explosion 3 at the edge of it. So there's 1. Explosion 2. Explosion 3. Get there yet, so Mick does it. So this is the edge of the 3rd one. This is where 1 should always be trying to aim for. Like, you gotta sprint and make it here or else it gets much harder for everybody else. I'll show you whenever I do it later too. Wait for the next one, because you still get the one in the middle. Then, yeah, somebody cleaves across. What happens? Why do we get cleaved from across? This is... that 2 bait was kind of scuffed too. Like, it kind of went out towards the wall. It could have been a little bit more parallel. Really close to it and got lucky that it didn't hit anybody. He dies to explosion, I think. At times with the explosion. His partner Alan died to explosions, I'm pretty sure. That's why we get cleave across. Yeah, this should never happen. This is just kind of... People should kind of have an idea of the rhythm. Like, it's a very smooth rhythm. It happens the exact same way. Four explosions, one explosion in, and then it resets. You just keep on walking in the same rhythm. Not really a whole lot I can show you on that one because I'm not even looking at that side of the room because it's on the other group. Okay. Two. So, remember, one sprint, you gotta be like cutting out here because you see it, the first one's right here, so you know it's gonna come up to the edge of this. Then you immediately cut in and get to right here where the third explosion will be. I don't even see other ones. Yep, one makes it. A little bit late, but it works. Six, so this is actually a good one. That's a good one to look at. I don't know what happens there. What does happen there? Why do people die on the last? I'll also take a look at the snapshot so you know, like I start moving as soon. You can actually start moving sooner than you think for the snapshot. The dash is locked in a lot sooner than you think. Duke. Ah, okay. See what happened to Duke. Leave. Then Duke is just too close to it. Again, if you're on the 3-4 side, you should have, like, come in. You didn't even need to be out there, really. It helps with you getting heals and tots up, too. I think that bait was also probably a little off. We'll get to BJCC in a little bit. Mostly just want to look at limit cut right now. I think we've only had like 1 or 2 times where we made it through with no deaths. Nail Persona music tonight. 256. That's okay. So this is what I was talking about earlier. Like you don't need to be that far. Granted, the one should have been a little bit faster, but the one, it's not dropped in an unworkable spot. So you gotta be following. So again, by this point you should kind of like have a rhythm. Like you shouldn't even be really looking at the explosions very much. You should kind of have an idea where the rhythm is. So whenever I'm walking out, I look at the my partner. Like I'm 6, so I'm looking at 5 whenever I'm moving out right now. So I don't even know where 5 is. So, blue, this was explosion 2, so your ultimate goal is to be like here, we're in this pizza slice, I think. I can't see it because of the bit rate and stuff. It should be like right around there. It's explosion 3. Okay. He drops in a weird spot. He could be up a little bit further, but this is still fine. Really. But this... So, remember, his model is right here, but like his actual hitbox is like kind of like right here-ish. Actually, that's a stupid exaggeration. His hitbox is like right here, so if you're like under his model, you're like actually... I can't really approximate it. You'd have to look at his model if you have him targeted during CC. If you're standing here, like... That's terrible too. Basically, if you're like right under him like this, you're actually on the other half of his hitbox, so he's gonna dash cleave this way instead of turning around and dash the other way. So you don't want to be under where his model is. Like you want to give him a little bit of a buffer and be standing like kind of right here. That's usually where I stand. Could have stood right there. You're still in the same pizza slice. You're still safe. You didn't really need to be that far under him. But yeah, watch. You don't get clipped by the cleave, but you're so far under him, and his hitbox ring is like actually like kind of like right here. So you're gonna bait him this way. It's fucking weird. If you target him during BJCC, you'll see what I mean. His hitbox is like actually not where his model is. Yeah, so you're sitting too far forward, and because you're on that half of this hitbox, he dashes forward instead of backwards. So there's no reason to ever be like that far up behind CC. Give him a little bit of space, or else that happens. I think that happened a couple times tonight. Here. really care about limit cut. 6 again. The 1. Gotta be fast. Alright. Wait. I don't know what happens there. You get hit by the other side. That's not really anything that we can learn by. This is good placement though. Like he's up against the explosion, so you have a lot of space in that pizza or that pie slice to deal with CC's dash. And for some reason we flipped from across the room, and I can't tell why from my angle, so not really gonna learn anything. That was a good one bait. I'm looking at it. And then I will look at BJCC too, especially the last bowl since we were pretty good on it. But in order to consistently get there, we gotta figure out what we're doing on BJC or on limit cut wrong. Sorry. Just let it roll from here. I don't know what this song is, but 6 again. Gave me 6 a lot the first half tonight. I did get 1 a couple times, so there's explosion 2, explosion 3, so the 1 needs to get to right here. Sprint. Yeah, that was good. He's in the pizza slice. Waiting for 5. And I'm not even looking at the explosions at this point. I'm looking at 5 and seeing where they're going. Then somebody died. What about it? Let me see if I can tell if they died too on the other side. Not sure. Something with the dash, I can't tell though. Something with the dash happens and it kills him. This is the end of the phase. Okay. Just gonna let it roll from here. What do I get this time? The 3. So it's south. So 3. You have another weird job, but it's actually not that bad if you think about it. You gotta come. Explosion 2, explosion 3 is gonna be here. You gotta come over to here, all the way over here. Explosion 4 by the time it's time for you to take your cleave. It's not too bad. You don't need sprint. Pretty easy. Just sit right there. Not for sure cast. Like if you do it precisely, or like 1 or any odd, you should always try and be up against a pizza slice like this, like right here. That's like premium spot for you to put it, for you to drop CC, is for your character to be standing up against a pizza slice like that. If you're not there, it's not the end of the world, but I think my 4 died. I think this was my 4, and he went to the wrong side. How you do 3. 3 is actually pretty chill. So I'm just sitting there watching. One should be sprinting and moving. It's the 3rd one. 1's to get there. That's pretty good placement. Snapshot. Walk through him as he's dashing you. I like to walk through him as he's dashing me just because it gives me more time to play. So yeah, this is why you need to give CC space. You won't go back. That's actually a good thing to talk about. You need to give CC space for that reason. Let me slow it down. So yeah, remember like I was talking about whenever I showed how to like walk through, like the hitbox is like actually fucking back here and CC's like on the upper half of it, his model. So that's another reason why you want to be like kind of like back here or anywhere back here in this range toward the back part of the pizza slice where you shouldn't get clipped, because the odd person should be fast enough. So if you're like right here or you're at all in the hitbox, then any like movement here is going to drastically spin CC around. Like you're out here, you move like right here, that's not a huge change in the way that he dashes, but if you're up close to him and you're like right here and you like here, and all of a sudden his cone goes from like here to like way out here, it's more drastic and pronounced if you are off center whenever you're right under CC. So that's another reason why you should probably stay far back. That's the way the geometry works. Back here, if you're like kind of here and here, like it's gonna go from this to this like kind of like small, subtle little differences. The closer you are to him, the more widely his little dash swings. If that makes sense. So you don't ever really want to be like up against him, because like watch, Emiya's like center of his hitbox is right here. Like this little sidestep right here, let's turn this into like this, because you're so close under him. So you shouldn't really try and be underneath him, CC as much as you can like that. You gotta give him some space. And explosion, 5-6 walks in, 1, 2, 5, 6 walk in. And 3 and 4 should also be walking in. I don't know what happens on the other side. See? Hopefully that makes sense. Like why you don't want to constantly be like underneath CC. Like you're gonna swing his little dash a lot more if you're straight under him like that. Happens on the other side. Let's see. Somebody was too far ahead under CC, so same thing that happened with Duke earlier. Oh, I think I'll do a couple more and then I'll look at BJCC. What happens here? One where I'm one? Yeah, it is. So it's a pop sprint, go. Cut in as soon as I see that one, wait, go. Your ultimate goal is to be right there at that pizza slice. What happens there though? Looks like my 2 is a little slow. So you don't have to pop sprint if you're the 2, but you still gotta move pretty quickly and get behind them in such a way that you can bait it away from the group. Slow it down and look at what happens. The 1, so I see that, I immediately go and pop a sprint. Go. So remember, this is the first one, so movement for 1, sprint right here, wait for this one in, cut in as soon as you see the animation and the snapshot is off. Go. Then the ultimate goal is the next slice, as close to this line as you can on this slice. Like, ideally right here if you can. It depends on how good your ping is and how fast you are. Looks like the same thing again. They move like straight under him, and this changes his trajectory from here to like out here because you're so far under him. Which you don't really need to be. I gave you, like he was right here. You could have been like anywhere back here on this pizza slice. Especially since you don't even have that next one coming up behind you either. Like that was the inner explosion. Yeah, that is the movement for 1. And then again, don't be straight under CC, give him some space. If you give him some space, the bait is much easier to pull off and direct. And yeah, you didn't need to be straight under him. Like, I think you were worried that with it where you spawn that you're going to be like in the explosion right here, but you could have stood right here, and also it was the round where this is happening. So you could have... You wanted to have been right here for a second, and then as soon as you see him look around and the dash is locked in, just cut in. You shouldn't get hit by the explosion. I'm looking. Do a couple more. Looks like that's the biggest thing, is like people are just like so far up under CC that they don't need to be. Like that's the repeat comment I'm seeing here. 2, 5, 6. One gets there, 2. Good. For the 5. So ideally, 5, after you see this explosion in, the 1, 2, so ideally 5 is right here, up against this line, and 6 is back here somewhere. This is pretty good. Yeah, you don't ever need to be like straight under CC like that. No reason to be straight up under CC. You're gonna probably get somebody killed because you're gonna flip the dash a different way. Is there any other issues that I'm seeing with one that cut tonight? 8. You see what's going on 3, 4, 7, 8 side. Yep, this is good. 3 should always be up against this line while this is sitting here, and then remember there's going to be an explosion here, so just sit and wait. DC should spawn in a really good spot here though. And then if you're baiting him, don't be under him, like he can be anywhere back here. Perfectly fine. See if the next time I'm in an odd number, I'll show you like when I start walking through him after I know that the bait is locked in. Actually, I'm 8 here. I don't know why I did like such an exaggerated bounce thing right there. I'm usually not like that. I'll show you later when I actually do a proper like 8 whenever I point him to the outside. I don't know why I'm here. Happens with the tank. It worked like fine, but I didn't need to be like that far out. That's kind of weird. I don't know what I was thinking. I want another one where I'm an odd or an even number. I can show you like whenever I know that I'm safe to start walking through him. What is this one? I'm an even, I'm 6. Okay. Before it gets to where I can show you the dodge. 3, that's kinda... see what happens, or not 3, the 1. The 1 is like really slow there. Let's see. Explosion, start moving into the explosion. 1 is really far behind, because remember your ultimate goal is right here. And he has one more explosion and he's like way back here. See if he makes it. Well, I mean, it's workable, I guess. But the black mage is like straight underneath him. And then yeah, again, if you're straight underneath him, you're gonna send his dash in weird directions like that. He went perpendicular at that point, like straight 90-degree angle, because the black mage is so far under him. So you don't need to be that far up under CC again. I know, like, if the odd is slow, it's a little rough, but you still have time to, like, take a couple steps backwards. That's not what I want. This song is also not what I want. Yakuza. Looks decent. Well, people die. Let's see what happens here. Yeah, that's another, I guess, more footage if you want to see what happens if you're straight under CC and how bad it can get. Like, that was like a straight 90-degree flip. 1 needs to be like up here. That's, yeah, I'm super... still workable, I still make it out. 5... I don't know what happens to Kai on the other side. What was I on this one? I think I was even, right? So, yeah, 2. I can show you my... Right, so I usually stand like Your ultimate goal is to stay anywhere in this pizza slice, but back outside of CC's model to where you're not dashing. So you sit back here. As soon as you see him like start cleaving, you're good to probably start walking in, because by the time you're like straight under him, if you have enough room, he's gonna lock in. Or I can just like show you. I can slow it down even more so you can see like the exact moment that he starts whipping around. Cleave. Right after he finishes riding himself in the cleave, you're good to move. He's locked in. He's gonna hit you that way. You saw how I did that. Show you again so you can see. So the one was a little slow, but we made it work. Cleaves, don't move yet. Wait for him to like stand up straight. Go. You're good to go now. Instantly he just whips around and blasts you. It's fine. I don't know what feels high on the other side. Anything else? Look at the there, see if there's any other things, and then we'll move on with the sim. Then I'll look at BJCC and pull up the toolbox and stuff. Go over that real quick. Go. What happens here? Go. One should be in front of me, one should be in front of me. There it goes, good. So that's a good one drop, so again, CC's straightened himself out, so I'm going to start walking under him. Perfect. Dashes straight at me, I don't whip him in any weird directions, he's locked in, the snapshot's over. It's easy, easy game. Walk around the edge, wait for that. Come in. Actually make it through. This is after the sim practice. That's a good example. Is there anything else to really fuck up on? I'm going to cut the rest of the night. I think I'm about ready to look at BJCC though. Like, those are like the most egregious things, is standing straight under CC's model, and that's not where his hitbox is. Actually, let me look at his CC, BJCC phase and see if I can show you like where his hitbox and model actually are. Yeah, this is bad. I think I'm gonna get hit by the explosion, so yeah, let's talk about this one. One's in a decent spot, two's okay. Five needs to get in there. And five just like stands there. Like as soon as you see the fire, like this is already exploded and snapshotted. Like you're good to go stand on the fire. Like you drop CC right here, and this is where the line is. CC's model is like sitting right on it, so I have no place to sit other than like right here. So I'm gonna be, this is what happens if you're way too slow. CC pawns on the back part of the pizza slice, and I bait the dash, but I die to the explosion because I have nowhere to take that. If I walked up, he probably would have whipped around like and cleaved the people that are standing outside. Everybody lives except for your partner, which you put in the explosion. So you gotta be faster. As soon as you see the explosion effect on the ground, you can walk into it. If you slow, then you kill your partner. Given how J-kick is I'm pretty sure is like spread out. Pretty sure you're gonna like make it a lot harder to make the heal check on J-kick too. Pretty sure it's shared damage. Actually, don't remember. Here. Look at one more and see what we can learn, and then BJCC. And look at A, 5, 5, 6. See how I dropped the 5. 3 or 1, so yeah, that's really slow. Just look at this again. So remember, if you're 1, like you should already be like kind of in here. You cut up here into the effect in the animation of the first explosion. This has gone off. Like you cut straight across while you have sprint. You should probably already be in this pie slice somewhere. Show you why you're super slow. 2. Here's the 3rd. The animation's out, you step in it, but like this is his model is right here, so like you're basically like hugging this line and hoping that this doesn't clip you, or you don't get a poor snapshot right there. Then Kai moves straight under it, yeah. And again, if you're straight under it, like we get really lucky that Kai backs out and points it the right way. So again, 5-6. After the explosion, you want to go 1, 2, and this is your ultimate goal. Be up against this piece of slice right here. There's your 5. In there, you're good to start walking in the fire animation. Perfect. That's like is that ideal placement for 5. And then I don't know why Duke is right underneath me. Again, if you're following your buddy, like stay back behind them so that doesn't happen. If they put you in an explosion, then that's them on them. They fucked up. They're too slow. But if they put it in a decent spot and you walk under it and walk straight into the cleave, then at that point it's on you. You don't need to be following your buddy that close. So explosion, 1, 2. My goal right here. I drop right here. You want to like stutter step behind me a little bit. Yeah, you have no reason to just like keep following me and going that close. Then the last one I want to look at, if I can find it, is the one where like I pointed at the wall and Duke like walks out into the wall with me and gets himself killed. I'll show you like exactly what I'm doing if I'm 8. Again, it's optional, but I like to do it just because it helps, just in case anybody fucks up or anything. Looks like this one. I see Duke dead. Am I 8 here? I am 8. I think this is it. Some tunes on. So blue is 7, I'm 8, so at this point there's going to be an explosion right here, and that's the last explosion. For 3 and 4, you can just step into it and your mechanic is done. Like, you don't have to do anything. There's no reason for you to be out here anymore. Come in here and get topped up by by the healers. Everybody, because 1, 2, 5, 6, after 5 and 6 go off, they can like kind of walk around this part of the arena a little bit, and then as soon as they see the fire animation, just kind of step in, so they're probably already there. 7, 8. So this is what I like to do is 8. So usually baits are going like right here, which is fine. This 7, 8, since 3, 4 have no business being out here anymore, and most 3 and 4s will cut in here in PF and like other groups. 8 gets the option of walking out here and pointing CC's cleave into the wall this way, just to give you a little bit extra space. So nothing wrong with doing it this way. Again, this is optional, but this is just something I like to do, just in case like somebody is super slow, like getting into the explosion and they're still out here. They can just walk in here and they'll be safe, as I'm pointing it out this way. If the 3 and 4 is like not paying attention and just like keep on walking this way, they don't have to like keep on doing limit cut. They can just stand anywhere in here because this was pointing out to the wall. So that's why I do this, but again, it's not mandatory. Like, you guys don't have to do this if you don't want to. Like, watch. Yeah, I point him, like his cleave goes from like cutting here. I pointed him into the wall this way, like you saw that. And then, yeah, 3 and 4, again, every group, 3 and 4 usually just like cut into the center as soon as they see it, because they don't want to deal with the mechanic anymore. Your mechanic is over as soon as this explosion goes off for 3 and 4. So again, it's optional. Like, Mick walked in, Duke is still out here, Duke could have walked straight out here. So that cleave, as you saw him, he went like out here into the wall, so less chances that it's going to hit somebody unless somebody's like still walking here for some reason. Which, I mean, if you're still, like, I guess, handling it, but if you're still out there at that point, you're making it hard for the healers to pop you off before J-kick. There's really no reason for 3 and 4 to keep dealing with the mechanic and being out here. Just cut in. Right. This goes to the BJCC phase. Do I target CC at any point? Let's see if I can show you guys his hitbox. CC, right? Oh, I was looking at CC. Hang on, where did that go? I had... Oh, there it is. Oh. Show you just so you can see like kind of like why you don't want to be standing underneath CC. Like you're assuming that like straight under his legs right here is the center. Oh, damn it, I keep fucking up. I keep missing it. Where is he? Target CC. Alright. So... I need him to where he's like standing straight up like he is in limit cut. Swear to God I had him a second here. Root. Root. So he's kind of lifted a little bit here, but you kind of see like how his thing is like his ass is like right here. He kind of lifted up a little bit, but he's still kind of like in the general thing. You see like where that actually is in relation to here's the left-right line, north-south line is going to be like there's the arrow right here. So he's like kind of right here actually, his model, but his hitbox is like actually right here. So if you're standing up underneath him during a limit cut, like in here, you're gonna drastically alter it, so you need to like step back a little bit. Closer you are to him, like more fucked up. And also if you're like straight underneath him, then whenever this happens, the cleave, it's like coming out here. So if you're like straight underneath his model, which is like right here, then you're gonna stand at the odd player's cleave. Right, so yeah, that's all I really got for limit cut. Let's look at the last BJCC run that we had and see what we can learn here. It was actually a pretty good look at it. Toolbox. Toolbox. And then split BJCC. Right, let's go ahead and review it real quick. Not gonna go over it too big because you guys seem to have like a decent idea what you're doing. So, easy spots, we already know how to do this. Dodge chakrams after link up. You hear him come down, the little like sawing noise. Like at that point, you need to start moving out. Whenever they dash to the middle, that's your cue to step back in because your Hawk Blaster is already locked in on you. Pass. So again, we're going counterclockwise, so the DPS stand here. This DPS goes here. DPS comes down here. This DPS goes here. Their buddy. And that buddy is also going to be their same buddy for the rest of the passes until they get to THHD. Yep, so water to D. Minimum 3 players with shields need to be in it with it, so it's usually the other healer, because if you're not the water healer, you have nothing, so you're going to go and stand in it and free range. So the rest would be Machinist and Blue. CC tank and range DPS bait mine, so this is what I was talking about during chat. Like, people that have priority moving around with Nisi are the water healer and the water DPS after the first stat goes off because it assigns to a random person. Those people have priority moving with their Nisis, and Machinists should always have priority getting to where they need to go. So like if you see the Machinist walking around, like wait for them to move because they have to get down here. They have to bait these mines with the CC tank. If they don't do that, then it's pretty much over. Like they have to put it in a specific spot. Enumeration, so this is where we need to work on our flexes. I think we did though. So like healer 1, me, and the 2 DPS. I forget who's actually with me. We'll see it in the play-by-play, I guess. Left 1, healer 2, and the other 2 right. You need to have a flex. Because say, both of the iterations are in this group. We'll say the Dragoon is flexing. So we'll say the Dragoon and Ninja get it. Dragoon needs to flex over. The Dragoon per priority. The flex players, whenever you designate them, that's what you're ultimately trying to mitigate. Is that if any of these two players, anybody in this group, also gets an enumeration in addition to if you ever get, sorry, let me say that again. If you ever get 2 enumerations in a group, then the flex players need to like align themselves so that there's 3 players in each group. Is basically what this is telling you. And at this point, you get the ice. You don't need to be like straight on top of it. I can look up my old videos. I think I'm ice on some of my players, so I can show you that if you want to. Then after ice puddle is dropped, second pass usually corresponds with after the enumerations go off. So pass with your designated DPS buddy. That second pass, the lightning healer, which is the first water healer. If you get first water, you have to come here, cut in, then cut up after the DC pass, and stand with the tank to pick up water or lightning. And then other healer that doesn't have that wasn't the first water healer comes up here. Whichever one of the random people that were standing in the stack gets assigned the water comes up to Bravo, and melee keep on sitting out. Some groups do like to have the melee come over here. They like position brute, but there's no reason to do that. Like, should be livable with 3 players and a shield. And then SCC keeps dragging them around southwest. Flare thrower. At this point, the next thing is pointing brute west, so that the water stack that drops at B is going to put the tornado down. If flare thrower is going to remove it whenever he hits it with the flare thrower. So a couple things need to happen. First thing, the lightning healer that just picked up the debuff is going to come stand down here, so you need to let them have the hitbox to move in. You'll see whenever I pick it up off of mine. And then, so basically the melee need to like adjust up this way, which is fine because for our samurai, light brute's going to be facing this way anyway, so you're going to get positionals if you rock this way. So you get positionals and you get out of the lightning healer's way. Pretty comfy. And then everybody else is like loosely clustered in the middle. And then at this point, tank healer tank, BJ tank, CC tank, healer, lightning healer, the other healer. And then you're going to look at the party list, you're going to see which debuff you need to slot in, who has your Nisi, and then you're just going to walk and cross over with them. This is a DPS thing, so DPS need to be tracking who has what and what needs to pass. At this point, after that pass is done with the tank healer tank, everybody goes out to the position. The tank or the healer is up here with the BJ tank, walks down to CC tank and shares it with them. And everybody else, same thing, all the ranged. And the healer, go and stand by B and drop the water thing. You're gonna drop another tornado, but it doesn't matter because after you drop this tornado, it's BPOG. You're gonna come over here and stand next to the ice cube, so it doesn't matter. But you have the tornado over there, just drop it and get away from it before it tethers you. And this is all some other stuff. At this point, you BPOG, so clearly denote the people with Nisis. The BJ tank should bring brute like over here so that people can cleave and get leave up time. If you have a Nisi, you need to slot in BPOG, blue, purple, orange, green. Slot in for the Nisi pass, and then once the Nisis are in the position, you look at your debuffs. People without Nisis, you look at their debuffs and they just walk up to the person that has the matching color. Then you just sit there and keep up time while he does Propeller Wind and Gavel. And then the Fizz range walks across the arena to bait super jump. Everybody else gets to the wall. There's some stuff with the tanks going on that most people don't really care about because both the tanks get put at 1 HP. That's like the tank and healer thing. That's pretty much it for this phase. So, what you're doing. Let's look at this one. This is our best look on it on the night. So let's look and see some stuff. A lot of this is learning for me too, because I was BJ tank, so I have to learn the timing for like all the Nisi passes and things like that for the rest of them, and the healer's getting a tank healer tank. here, pretty standard. We already talked about this. If you're a BJ tank guy, poke him, go stand at 1. This will drag BJ in, and then just walk around right here. It puts them on top of each other, their models on top, so that you can get cleave uptime. Like I'm in gravity gaming here. 2 target. I know some other people are trying to cleave on both of them too, before they split. This is like, this and after BPOG are the only times that you can stack them on top of each other and get like cleave uptime and help meet the DPS check. So Nisis are assigned. You don't hear it because I have the sound disabled. I heard the chakram. Here's this one. You guys see it? Yeah. Reline this. So here's the chakram. If everybody does it right, it should like crisscross. So they're always either on the same intercardinal or cardinal from each other, so this way, but the only thing that changes is where the baits are, so like you're off to the side, and this chakram's gonna come over here and hit people while they're placing Hot Blaster. That's why we do this, if anybody was confused. So, because we were all standing on that little thing in the center, they cleave right through. So at this point, once you see this little animation, you're safe to walk in. Chakram's already snapshotted, nobody's gonna get hit by it. And then your Hot Blaster is already locked in, so like my Hot Blaster is already like placed right here. Same thing with this one, like these are already placed at the edge. So as soon as you see the animation of the chakram, just move in. Photon is the next mechanic. It drops us all to 1. This is your cue to start your BPOG pass. So like Duke walks on top of me. If you're a tank or a healer, try and stand. It can be a little finicky, so just like stand still as much as you can. The same thing with like any kind of tether mechanic or anything, just stand still until you see it above your head and then separate. You can be touching the same person, like purples can touch, but like a purple and a green can never touch. And if you pass to like somebody else, either they have to adjust at this point, or if you pass to somebody else and they have the wrong debuff, then it's a wipe. So you have to be very careful to not play any C bump cars. I'm water healer, so I'm gonna step out to Delta at this point. At this point, healers should be mostly checking on the Dark Knight for the most part, because CC tank takes a lot more damage than BJ tank. It's not even close. Yeah, this is 3 players. 2, 1, they're 3 ranged with shields. We have shields up. This is pretty good. So it's gonna drop the water puddle right here, and it's gonna give the debuff to one of the other 3 players that's not me. So that person is gonna be on the B marker for their next water. Healing, there it is. So at this point, you have to move in. The next thing is going to be your enumerations. So pretty much the best way to avoid Nisi bump cars is like, don't do this, don't do this, don't do like any kind of like weird zigzagging stuff. Just like move in straight lines throughout this phase so that people can predict where you're going. You're cutting in and then all of a sudden you're like over here, like you're going to probably bumper car somebody, or like you make any abrupt movements. So as much as you can, try and move in like easy to read straight lines. So all of us 3 just walk in here right next to each other. It's pretty easy. This is why we do that. Final Fantasy 8. Yeah. There we go. And then wait for enumerations. No Nisi here, so we really didn't have to be like that careful, but like Blue had to make sure that you didn't pass to somebody that doesn't. Because if you pass to somebody that's like not your designated buddy, that person's not going to be able to pass with their buddy when the time comes to pass. Like, they Blue touch me, and Duke is my buddy. At this point I have Blue, so we can't touch obviously because that's Nisi bumper cars and it's going to kill us. You know, it's the final judgment, or yeah, this is going to kill you. Sorry, it's getting late. So Duke has to wait until my Blue wears off to pass what he needs. But this Nisi debuff, let's see if you can see it on Duke. Right here, 14 seconds. So like if I picked it up anytime during this, it would be a fresh Nisi debuff. We'll look at the next pass whenever I get it from Duke. So he's not gonna be able to pass it to you in time, and this Nisi is just gonna completely disappear. And when he does Gavel at the BPOG section to check for that Nisi, it's gonna wipe the entire group because the purple does not exist anymore. So that's why you don't want to touch, even if you're like, even if that person doesn't already have an EC, you still don't want to touch them because then you're going to lock out their buddy from passing to them. There have to be like some weird like adjustment from your partner to that person's partner and some other stuff, and it's gonna get really convoluted. Yep, so here's enumeration. Should be a 3-and-3 split. Not really a whole lot to say here. Just left, right. Enumeration. Stay away from each other. Easy pass. You're one of the supports to tanks and healers. Stay still until you see your Nisi pass. There's that Nisi pass. I'm waiting for him to get out of the way so I can walk up next to the lightning tank. Get a little close. So again, remember lightning or first water healer has to come up here. So like, as soon as you're done with your pass, you gotta like get out of the way, because lightning or first water healer usually stands like right here, and all permutations of this fight stand typically with the BJ tank. So you gotta let the first water healer get up here. So if you see a healer like trying to inch their way up here, like you gotta clear the spot away from them and let them get through. Because if they don't take the lightning from the tank, if they don't make it in time, then it's a wipe. It explodes and kills everybody. Yep, here it is. Passes on to me. So at this point, next thing is flare throwers. He's gonna come this way. This water healer that now the first water healer that now has lightning, they get the inside of the hitbox. DPS, melee DPS need to rotate out to this side, which you want because you're about to be facing this tornado with flare thrower. So healer gets priority inside, cutting inside on the hitbox. Melee DPS need to rotate out to the side, be over here, so that the healer can easily pass through. Lightning hurts a little bit, so tank this needs to be cooled down. I'm pretty sure it's on every mid plane that this happens. And then again, don't forget your CC tank. This passage just happened, and if you look, it's like 20 seconds. So if we had passed while there was like 14 seconds left on Duke's debuff whenever I was talking about that scenario earlier, then he would not have been able to pass, and his purple DC would have disappeared. So tank healer tank at this point. Walk center. Yeah, that's super scuffed. Blue gets blasted. I think I'm targeting BJ at this point, right? So I wasn't, but you can see it on my party list. Flare thrower. As soon as you see this, like, you just need to quickly cut right here. Like, you can be anywhere here, and it's gonna cleave that B marker because it's so big. So yeah, flare thrower. Yeah, like anywhere, like right around here, it's fine. You don't have to make him big, exaggerated, move it. Just stand right here. It's gonna point this way, and his flare thrower is gonna come out like this, and it's gonna get rid of this tornado. Where were you when that locked in? Hang on. Like super cursed. Actually, pretty sure you stand in it. I'd have to remember. It's been a hot minute since I've done this fight as tank. I'm pretty sure you just stand in flare thrower. You don't have to like keep on moving down. You stand there and your DPS comes to you after flare thrower goes off. So yeah. Locked in right now, and you're like right here, so you're gonna point it kind of down this way onto blue, so blue gets cooked. Yeah, blue takes some blast. Heal is, but then we need to see bumper car for some reason. I don't know why. Let me see what happens here. Tank healer tank. Kai like freaks out and walks into me, I think. Yeah. You don't have to go like that far down. You stand right here, and you just like kind of shimmy down. Like, you should never try and leave his hitbox. Just hug his hitbox the entire time. I'm right here, and then whichever player needed orange, it looks like, you had orange, would have come and picked it up off of you. Yeah, final sentence me. Let me find my POE. Whenever I clear this fight, look at that real quick, and then I'll look at this. I thought that this was the last one, but there's one more, which is actually like our best look at BJCC phase. Pause this right here. all my POVs go and my clears on this fight. Show you how I dealt with Flare Thrower. Oh, this one looks good. Where's BJCC phase? Wanna cut. A couple of tank things. Again, stand center, wait for BJ to come down. He always comes in the same spot. Poke him, drag him out, go to the 1 marker, and then just go stand in your spot. He'll always line up on top of CC, and everybody can cleave and do 2 target rotation. Link up. After link up is done, the chakrams are out. You can move out. Just because the healer, or not healer, the melee are going to walk out with you. They're going to want melee uptime. Straight line back in. Go to the center so that BJ comes down and they can reach him. EC pass 1. As soon as you see EC pass 1, go out into the wall. You just stand here in AFK. I'll get ice pattern here. I can show you where I usually drop that. Lightning, here comes enumeration. I am ice, so you don't have to be like on top of it. You see the ring, like that's as far, like as soon as you put the ring under any part of the animation, you're fine. Right here. Come back in. Enumerations go off, here comes the next pass. Drag him back out to the wall so that melee can get uptime. Comes the healer. Melee needs to get away, because lightning pass. Here comes flare thrower. So again, you just stand right here at any time, and then you just stand in it. You don't need to leave it. You need to cut down here for any reason. You just stand here and take it. That gets rid of that. Got orange, so you can stand here, or you can come down to like right here on the ring. As long as your buddy can see you, doesn't matter. A lot of melee like him to keep stable in place right here for positionals and stuff like that, but it's up to you. Usually your DPS will come to you and get what they need. Got time. Next thing is BPOG after the passes. This is just easy breezy uptime. There's explosion, there's third water. At this point it's BPOG. So again, you let the people that you can already see Nisis on go and take their spots. As the tank, you want to like come over here towards the delta, or the ice cube, so that the melee can keep uptime on BJ while we're dealing with this. So you see, I have the orange one, so I kind of just like jump it, but tanks are a little bit different because I need to push it, position him to where the melee can hit him. You know, I said that wait for the Nisis. This is roughly how it should look. Gavel, and then easy. So yeah, don't move around with flamethrower. I guess is a big point of what I want to say. So let's look at this and see what happens. On the last one, it looks pretty good. It looks good up until the tank healer tank Nisi pass. Got it in. Mick dies. Let me see if I can see why Mick dies. He gets hot blastered, but I'm trying to see why. Does he jump it too quickly? Still there. He just, yeah, uptime, I guess. He gets snapshot into it, yeah. Yeah, as soon as the chakrams go down, like I know you're trying to like keep spells rolling and stuff like that, but you gotta get in pretty quickly or else that happens. And if you're unlucky and that was a Nisi player, then it's pretty much over. Like if you had purple, then that's over, because the purple Nisi disappears at that point. We can't carry it through the phase and make BPOG, so we wipe. Yes. You get lucky there that he wasn't a Nisi. First water again. Oh, okay. Do your LL, gotcha. So yeah, this is not terrible, but yeah, you want to like be spread out so that people can come middle. Like having all the people on one side like that is not wrong, I guess, but it's gonna complicate Nisi moving with Nisis. Come center, babysit the CC tank because they're gonna get blasted. Enum 1, left, right, groups, flex if needed. We haven't had a situation where we've needed to flex yet in this scenario. I don't know what's in Final Fantasy 9 right now. Alright, Enums go off, your second pass. So remember, pick up your Nisi, then gotta get out of the way because the lightning healer needs to come stand with the tank at this point. Loading. Goes off. Healer gets priority moving through the hitbox. Doesn't need to do that. Go out and stand and tank, healer, healer, tank. It's pretty good. Flare thrower. Kai stands in it this time. That's good. I don't know why the blue walked on top of me. Kai again. I had to like shimmy away from there. Let me see what Kai's doing, because there's no reason that Kai needs to be like coming down here. His tank, they can be right here. Like you can just like hug his hitbox the entire time and deal with what you need to do. Because Kai moving there like shoves me off, and things get really hectic at that point. I'm trying to avoid crossing up Kai because Kai has blue. I don't know if Kai is looking at tank, healer, hitter, tank and thinking that means that Kai needs to be like inside, maybe, but you really don't. Especially since the melee are going to appreciate you like keeping the positionals focused in one spot for them so that they don't have to like adjust or use true north. Tank, healer, healer, tank, flare thrower. You baited it in the right spot, and then like you could just have stayed here the entire time. Oh no, Artemis, how you doing? Yeah, you could have stayed here, or like out here where he's pointed this way. You don't really need to come down here with like the healers and stuff. Do tank, healer, healer, tank. But, like, yeah, like come down here and it like pushes me out this way. Like I don't know what you're. I get real scared because I see the blue like walking like right where I'm standing. So yeah, you don't need to be down this far. And then yeah, it gets scuffed because people are like passing. So yeah, BJ tank, please sit like right here. Like you don't need to move BJ at all. You literally just rotate around his hitbox after you get him at the wall. How you doing tonight, Artemis? Hanging out. Look at that one more time. Doing good. Just reviewing some stuff from our prog on T tonight for the weekend group. Yeah. Yeah. BJ tank has no reason to be down there. Like you're gonna upset the melee too. His melee like him to be like stable in one spot. Like he sits here for flare thrower, so you can just like fit right here. After you take your first flare thrower, like you're good. Like you saw how I did on my clear, like you just sit and flare thrower. You don't need to like worry about moving around and stuff, and the melee are gonna appreciate you keeping him facing one way. I don't know if you think that flare thrower is like a continuous blast or something, but it's a one-time application of the damage. And then yeah, you come down, so the active like you coming down is like a cascade effect. You shoved me like down here because I was trying to avoid the blue because you like come and stand like right on top of me. And then I try and cut back in here and the two DPS are right here come in, and then past Nisi, we Nisi bump a car and we kill each other. So yeah, please keep hugging BJ's hitbox. Down here, I stand with the lightning tank after that pass. Pretty much over at this point. Yeah, about an hour-long review session of our footage from tonight's prog, so not bad. I'm honestly, I gotta learn like some stuff on healing this phase since I've only ever tanked this phase. Some other things, but I'm actually having a lot of fun. But yeah, those are the big things. Limit cut, don't be underneath CC. EJ tank, just stand in flare thrower. Don't leave his hitbox like ever. Let the DPS come to you. You're supposed to. Water healer and the healer soaking lightning and the fizz range baiting the mines have priority for moving around with Nieces so that we don't cross each other up. And then yeah, you gotta be faster on limit cut for a lot of things. Hopefully I showed you like some tips and tricks that I usually do on it. But yeah, I'll highlight this and I'll post it for you guys to look at later. But yeah, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a good night.